many of you are probably wondering, why is my knee rolling in when I squat or when I stand on one leg? Well, I'm going to show you the possible causes of why it may be rolling in and what we look for as physios to help diagnose where it's coming from. By rolling in, this is what I mean. So if Pam stands on one leg, she's going to stand on her right leg. When she does a single leg squat or a step down, which we call it, when she steps down, if this knee rolls inwards like that, okay, that's what we're looking for, because that may be the cause of why they're getting pain through the leg when they play sport, run, train, that sort of thing. So it's the movement of the knee going inwards like that, so going inwards, and you can see it yourself. If you're not sure about whether your knee's rolling in, you'll see the middle of your knee. It needs to be tracking over the middle of the foot, which is between the second and third toe. Not over the big toe, over the middle of the foot. So if it's going over the big toe or even further inwards, you know it's rolling in. Okay, so there's the first thing. Now, if that's happening to you, what we look for is, okay, there's three components: ankle and foot, your actual knee, and what's happening up in the hip and the pelvis. Let's start at the ankle, namely the foot. If she collapses in her arch, so when she stands on one leg and she bends her knee and this foot goes from a nice neutral position to a rolled in arch or dropped arch here, we know there's something going wrong with either the strength of the arch or the biomechanics of the back of the ankle. Now sometimes it can just be just the arch, other times the arch is collapsing because of what's going on at the back of the heel. So let's have a turn around. If you turn around 180, what we look for, if we think that the arch is collapsing here, so going from an arch here to a sort of a flattened, pronated position, what we look for, is that happening at the heel? Like, is she staying in neutral? Come up to there for me. Is she going neutral when the arch is collapsing? Or is the arch collapsing because she then, when she stands on one leg, go and do that for me, if she rolls her ankle in? So she's not too bad. There's a little bit of movement there, but what we're sort of looking for is not the little bits of movement. We're looking for a full collapse inwards. So put your left leg down again. She doesn't really do that, but if she lets her whole ankle roll in, we're sort of looking for, does she stay in that position when she stands on one leg? Is she fully pronated down here? Is she doing this sort of eversion part of it at the rear foot rather than inversion? And can she control it? So this is one thing we're looking for. So a normal sort of neutral foot would stay a vertical Achilles here, and you'd see sort of toes. If you look directly from the back, you'd see toes on this side and toe on this side. If she rolls in too far, what tends to happen is you end up not being able to see the big toe, and we call that a too many toes sign, where you see, okay, there's too many toes on this side. You know, if you can see more on this side, then this is rolled in. This will end up rolling the knee under. If you turn around the other way for me, Pam. So if you watch what happens at the knee, so when she rolls her foot in, you'll see it just naturally rolls her knee in. She cannot keep her knee out if her foot rolls in. It's very, very difficult. Sometimes people can train it and they can get it so strong that they pronate here and they can keep their knee out. But what we're looking for is a causative factor. So is this making her knee biomechanically roll in? And therefore, are they strong enough in the hip to control that? Okay, just as a heads up, if you become a member of this channel, you can get exclusive access to the exact exercises that we give our clients here in the clinic with the exact cueing, instruction, technique correction, so you can get your rehab done right. We're uploading over 700 of our new videos, so head to the members area and check it out today. Number 2 is the knee. Now, there's 2 things actually we're looking for. The most common one is the knee rotating in, what you actually see. Now, that's not happening at the knee. Technically, it's happening at the hip. The control problem is happening up here. But what we look for is, does the knee roll inwards? Does the kneecap face medially when she stands on one leg, all right? So is the foot fine and she's actually just totally twisting in here? Now that's usually a problem going up in the hip. We'll come to that in a minute. But that's what you're looking for. Does the knee cap face forward in a straight line when she bends a knee? Or does it actually face inwards? If it's facing inwards, you know you're internally rotated in the femur. The second one, which is way harder to spot, is actually going into what we call valgus. So instead of being in a straight line here at the knee, from femur through tibia, is she actually going on an angle like that? Now you'll see that where the kneecap sort of stays facing forward, but the whole knee is inwards. She can't really do it because she doesn't have valgus, but imagine like from a straight line from the ankle through the knee and the hip, if the whole knee is sitting inwards compared to where the foot is and where the hip is, and the kneecap is facing forward, that's valgus. A lot harder to work with, but if that's the case, then that's the one that the physio needs to pick up on. Third thing we're looking at, what's happening at the hip. Now, when we do a one-legged squat, so Pam, if you could do a one-legged squat, you're looking for trying to keep the pelvis level. I'll show you from the back in a minute, but from the front, is she sort of keeping the front of her pelvis level? If you've got a hip weakness issue on this side, what will tend to happen is that whole pelvis on the left will drop down. So you'll tend to find that she drops her whole knee down. She looks like she's going on a bit of an angle in the upper body. The telltale sign usually is this hip will actually come out towards me if she drops the hip down. Okay. Now from the back it's easier to spot. Have a flip around the other way. What we're looking for is the level of like her pelvic line. So if this is the level here, if she stands on with one leg, when she stays normal, these 2 points should stay relatively level, like straight across. Come back up. When she goes and drops, if she drops, you'll see the left-hand side drop down. And if you imagine you drew a line between the PHYSIOS on each side here, it would be an angled line. Then you know that side is weaker. So have to turn it again. So the side that the knee's rolling in, okay, so this, say we're talking about the right-hand side, it's the same side as the weakness. If you see that left side drop down, it's the right side is to blame. Now, when the pelvis drops on that side, usually that means your gluteus medius minimus is not doing a very good job. When you destabilize that, then the knee starts to roll in just naturally because of the angle of the pelvis and the femur. And you can also cause your external rotators to be weak. Your glute max might be a bit down, your deep external rotators might be down, and then of course you just drift into internal rotation. So it can be a combination of just glutes, can be deep hip ones as well. But if you see that dropping down, then that is the cause. That means there's weakness kicking in here. Now whether that be because of pain or pre-pain, doesn't matter, it needs to get stronger. The second thing in the pelvis we also see is where the pelvis rotates, the whole pelvis rotates on the femur. So what usually happens if this knee is rolling in, she will then, her opposite leg will rotate away like that. So she'll come across the midline with her left foot. So come back up again. So instead of being straight, so if you just go straight back, instead of being there, okay, where she's parallel with both feet, she then will, if she drops and internally rotates in here, this one will swing out like that. And that causes all sorts of problems up in here as far as control. That'll make the knee roll in. And again, this is going to be hip, but also probably then you're switching to is this core strength as well. She's got the inability to hold her spine stable. So those are the three areas we're looking for as physios. Biomechanically, we're going, why is your knee rolling in, which is, is that causing ITB issues or glute issues or whatever the pain it is. But we take into account all those factors up the chain because they're all important in working out the actual diagnosis, why that's happening in the first place. Then we work on a plan to try and strengthen it up and get it corrected. See you next time. Now, if you are struggling with your rehab and you need specialized, structured physio exercise rehabilitation programs for your injury and surgery, then do yourself a favor and head to physiorehab.com or click on the website link in the description below. If you like the content on this channel, then hit the subscribe button because the bigger the channel gets, the more free videos I can put up for you to watch.